Okay, let's dive right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Today we're doing a deep dive into some, well, pretty unique source material,
Hmm.
a guide, right, from 2005, all about meeting and connecting with women.
That's the one.
So yeah, our source today is very specific. Excerpts from this book, How to Be a Pickup Artist, a practical guide.
Exactly.
And our mission, well, it's really to unpack the specific techniques, the philosophy, the whole mindset presented just in this guide.
Yeah.
We want to pull out the key bits for you, the listener, so you really get what this author was laying out.
Right. And it's crucial we stick just to what the guide itself says. It's a distinct perspective for sure.
Definitely.
A specific set of methods. We're just exploring them impartially, looking at the map the author drew.
Good way to put it.
So yeah, get ready. It might be engaging, maybe even a bit surprising, this look into the world as this text describes it.
Absolutely. So think of this as us stepping into the pages, right? This 2005 guide. We're here to shine a light on what the author thought was important, take you on a little adventure through their ideas. Okay, let's unpack this thing.
Let's do it.
So the guide kicks off by pitching the core appeal. Why become what it calls a pickup artist, or PUA?
Yeah, and it frames it mostly as like freedom of choice.
Freedom. How so?
Well, being able to exercise way more options, you know, beyond your usual social circles.
Okay.
The source uses this analogy. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It says it's like being a kid with $5 in a candy store
Okay.
instead of just having 50 cents. So you're not limited.
Right. You get way more choice.
Exactly. You can explore the whole range, the full spectrum of possibilities in like social situations.
And according to this guide, what are the big claimed benefits of having all these options then?
Well, it talks about meeting a huge diversity of women, tall, short, different backgrounds,
Right.
and how this process, it actually teaches you a lot about people generally.
Mm.
Can even lead to unexpected friendships, apparently. And it goes further, claiming you become more inclusive, even more tolerant of what it calls non-perfect women.
Non-perfect. Interesting term.
Yeah, the idea being you're not operating from scarcity, like you're not just stuck hoping for one very specific type.
Okay, I see the logic there from its perspective. But the guide gets pretty ambitious with the claimed benefits, doesn't it? I mean, really ambitious.
Oh, it certainly does. There's this one point where the source makes this, well, almost hyperbolic claim
Which is?
that if everyone became a PUA, it could, like, end war and bring about world peace.
Wow, okay. That's a statement.
Definitely an ambitious claim from the text.
Yeah.
But, it highlights the author's view on the fundamental social dynamics involved, how important they saw this stuff.
Right, it gives you a sense of the scale they're thinking on. But the guide's also clear this path isn't, like, easy. It says it requires sacrifice.
Oh, absolutely. It emphasizes that heavily. Needs a big time investment.
How much time?
The author actually suggests it could take 15 years, 1 to 5, to really get it on a deep level.
15 years. Wow.
Yeah, although he does say his book is meant to, flatten that curve a lot, make it faster.
Okay, well, that's something.
He even sort of jokes, maybe don't bother starting if you're over 50.
Right, so time is one sacrifice. What else?
Beyond the time, it demands a lot of practice, like
Yeah.
in the field,
Hmm.
meaning actually going out, being willing to look kind of foolish sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
experiencing failure, rejection, and crucially, being able to laugh at yourself through all that.
That sounds tough. It also mentions potential misunderstanding from others.
That's right. Friends, family. The guide talks about potentially facing, raised eyebrows or confusion.
Even your cat gets a mention, I think.
Yep, humorously includes even your cat. The point is, you're stepping outside the usual dating script,
Right.
and that can seem odd to people. The source also kind of links this path to getting comfortable being alone.
How so?
Like being able to just walk away from an interaction is presented as a source of power, not needing it to work out.
Okay. Now, here's something that seemed a bit counterintuitive, maybe. Given the whole pickup artist label,
What's that?
the guide puts a lot of weight on honesty, being genuine.
It really does. It tries hard to draw this line between a true pickup artist and what it calls a player.
How does it define the difference?
So a player, in this view, is someone who schemes, hides intentions,
Yeah.
and manipulates.
Okay.
Whereas the PUA, according to this text, aims to be straight with the women involved. It says they feel contempt for dishonesty, see players as just unskilled opportunists.
So honesty is valued, but then The source immediately throws in this complication, right? Being genuine, or maybe just appearing to be genuine, because it says appearances can sometimes matter more than reality in male-female interactions.
And that's where it gets really interesting, like you said, that tension.
Yeah,
It leads right into this core philosophical problem the guide wrestles with.
which is,
In any given moment, is it better to act, cool and play hard to get, or should you be warm, kind, and interested?
right, the classic dilemma.
And the source says,
Mm.
well, both are correct.
Both.
Yeah, but their effectiveness totally depends on the specific time, the place, the person.
So the key, in this guy's view, isn't picking one style. It's wisdom.
Exactly. Acquiring the wisdom to know which approach to use when. It's about flexibility, having that range.
Not just being rigidly one way.
Precisely. Reading the situation and adapting. That's the idea.
All right, let's shift gears into the actual interaction then. The guide puts a massive emphasis on the initial vibe.
Huge. It argues a woman makes a really quick decision about you.
How quick?
Sometimes incredibly quick.
Yeah.
Based on this vibe, this gut reaction that beats intellect. It even throws out a number like 0.01 seconds sometimes before she might look away.
Wow, no pressure then.
Right. Makes that first impression absolutely critical in this model.
So how does the guide say you should create a good initial vibe?
One key thing is showing warmth and acceptance towards other people.
Other people, not her directly.
Yeah, when she can see you doing it,
Yeah.
the logic is it shows you're naturally confident and friendly.
Not just faking it for her.
Exactly. The author tells this story, an anecdote from a wedding reception,
Okay.
where he acted over the top, warm, hugging grandmas, complimenting guests, clasping shoulders, total social butterfly.
Right.
And he felt he came across as this great conversationalist, even though he barely said anything to the woman he was interested in.
Huh.
His conclusion, people liked him just because he was accepting and loving towards everyone else there.
That's fascinating. Impress her by being genuinely nice to others first. Okay, what about smiling? The guide's very specific on that too.
Oh, yeah. You shouldn't just suddenly flash a big smile right when you make eye contact.
Right now.
The source warns it can feel forced, awkward, maybe even makes her uncomfortable.
So what's the trick?
The trick, it says, is to have your smile kind of already on your lips and twinkling in your eyes before making eye contact.
Already there.
Yeah. So it looks like that's just your natural state, how you are, not something you're doing specifically to her or as a reaction to her.
Making it seem like part of your personality, not a direct action. Got it. But that sounds hard in those fleeting moments the guide mentions.
It is. The author even admits being in shock and awe himself when an attractive woman glances his way once.
Right, which brings us right to approach anxiety. The guide tackles this head on.
Yep. Famously in that dialogue between Wolfgang and Juggler,
And the guide's take is?
that this anxiety is totally natural. And it never completely disappears, not even for really experienced people.
So if it never goes away, what do you do? How does the guide say to handle it?
The main advice is about managing it, shifting your focus outward, building momentum.
Okay.
Start by talking to anyone nearby who looks friendly, men, other people in groups, whoever, just to warm up your voice. Get into a talkative flow.
Like a warm-up lap.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And crucially, don't hesitate when the actual opportunity comes. Just go. Use simple openers. Hi, what's up? Stuff like that.
And it includes that slightly wacky trick, too.
Yes, the wacky trick. Offer to buy someone a beer,
Uh-huh.
then pretend you forgot your wallet, hope
Yeah.
they offer to buy you one.
Okay.
And then you give that beer to someone else entirely, just to make two new friends
Yeah.
instantly.
That is elaborate.
It is. But the point isn't the trick itself,
Right.
right? It's the mindset behind it.
Which is?
Have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously. Think about other people because anxiety is usually self-focused. And just be social. The guide really hammers this. Social guys attract women.
Makes sense. What about approaching groups? Any specific advice there?
Yeah, don't necessarily aim for the person you're most attracted to right away, especially if she seems quiet or intimidating, the ice princess type.
So who do you approach?
Go for the most outgoing, friendly people in the group first, usually the ones doing most of the talking.
Why?
The logic is, once her friends warm up to you and like you, the quieter one will become more communicative too. Then, the guide says, you can kind of slide over and engage her more easily.
Tactical. And if you're really nervous about approaching just one woman, the guide has some pretty imaginative tricks for that too.
Oh yeah, almost fantastical. Like imagining she has a big, hairy, juice-filled mole on the side of her face you can't see.
Seriously?
Seriously. Or picturing her as an invading android from planet not much Funatol.
An android.
Yeah, that you have to blow up by making them laugh. It's all about using bizarre mental images to reframe it, make the whole thing less intimidating, turn it into a game.
That definitely reframes things. Okay, there's also this delayed excuse approach. What's that about?
Right. So you have a simple, low-stakes reason ready for approaching, like asking for the time or directions, a safety net.
Okay.
But the key is you delay using that excuse.
Mm-hmm.
You start with other conversation first. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. I like your hat. Whatever.
And if the conversation goes well,
You never even need the excuse. If it kind of stalls or feels awkward, then you casually drop it in. Oh, yeah, almost forgot. Do you have the time?
so it takes the pressure off the opening line.
Exactly. And one more practical tip the source adds. Use momentum.
Momentum.
Yeah, approaching feels way more natural, less awkward if you're already in motion. Like you just bought a drink and you're walking back to your seat, rather than just sitting there staring, then awkwardly getting up to go talk to someone.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've made the approach, you're talking. Now the guide gets into techniques for actually hooking and engaging her interest, moving beyond that initial vibe.
Right. A key concept here is something called floxy.
Flopsy, like the bunny.
Slight chuckle. Exactly. Named after a pet rabbit, the author knew. A flopsy, in the guide's jargon, is basically anything that reliably creates a predictable reaction from a woman.
Okay.
Examples.
Well, the classic one is a cute animal, a puppy, the rabbit on a leash. It almost guarantees women will stop, comment, interact.
Right. I can see that.
Another example used is in a video store. You anticipate she's about to reach for a certain movie,
Uh-huh.
and you get there first, maybe say something like, no, not that one, and then suggest a different one. So you're predicting her move.
Exactly. The point isn't to make it hard. It's to anticipate her behavior, get slightly ahead of it, and be ready with a comment, making the interaction feel easy and natural, using predictability.
Leveraging human nature, basically. The guide also really stresses making it a two-way relationship, right? Not one way.
Yeah, it contrasts it heavily. A one-way pickup is either like an interrogation, you ask questions, get one-word answers back,
Painful.
or you just monologue at her. Neither's is good. The goal is what it calls a bilateral art form.
Bilateral art form.
Yeah, where she's actively playing along, contributing, participating.
And how do you make that happen? How do you facilitate that?
The guide talks about using focusing techniques, ways to hook her attention onto the interaction itself,
Okay.
and make it easy for her to give like meaty responses, even if the conversation topics are pretty basic. It's not about having amazing lines all the time.
How do you know if you're failing at that?
The source says, if you find yourself constantly thinking, I need more material, what do I say next? That's a sign you're not focusing her attention properly on the interaction.
Interesting. This leads into the idea of balance, doesn't it? And prompting her to make an effort.
Yes, exactly. The source argues that after the initial approach, for her to really value your interest, she needs to feel like she's kind of earned it.
Earned it. How do you prompt that effort?
This is where the vacuum technique comes in. It's pretty interesting.
The vacuum. Okay, explain.
You create a kind of conversational void. Ask a big open-ended question, something that requires more than a yes-no answer, like, what was your summer vacation like? Or how do you get your hair so purple? Things like that.
And then?
And then you stay silent. You just hold that silence with quiet expectancy. You resist your own urge to jump in and fill the gap.
Ooh, that sounds uncomfortable.
It can be. The source claims people are naturally uncomfortable with silence. They feel compelled to fill it.
That definitely goes against the instinct to keep talking, avoid awkwardness.
It does. And the source warns about subconscious sabotage here.
Meaning?
Meaning your own insecurity might make you accidentally turn your open question into an easy closed one. Because deep down you feel you don't deserve to ask an attractive woman for that much effort.
What if she gives a really short answer? Or like a testy, I don't know. Or some canned line.
The guide says she might be testing you, or maybe she's just not used to being asked to genuinely contribute.
So what do you do?
The advice is to stay on her, gently reapply the vacuum, or push lightly for more detail. If she says she just dyes her hair, you might follow up with, yeah, but how? I'm actually interested. Show you want more than the surface answer.
So the idea is her effort, her words, her creativity in answering. That's like her investment in the conversation.
Exactly. That's the poker analogy the source uses. Her words are her money or her ante in the game. Getting her to put that effort out early commits her more to the interaction. Makes it harder to just walk away.
Yeah.
And prompting that effort, the guide claims, generates attraction. Why? Because Only a person of power and confidence ever asks for so much.
Okay, power and confidence. So once she does make that effort, what's the crucial next step?
Rewarding her immediately.
Rewarding her effort.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The source calls this ratcheting the interaction forward
Yeah.
towards, a sexual or romantic outcome. And the timing is apparently critical.
How so?
You need to show new, growing interest right after she makes the effort, instantly.
Can you give an example from the guide?
Sure. Let's say you ask how she got her purple hair. She gives a cool story about taking a risk. You immediately reward that by showing increased interest and escalating slightly. Saying,
Okay.
wow, I love that you take risks like that. Hey, let's go sit down over there so you can tell me more. You connect the reward directly to her effort and move things forward. As opposed to just saying something bland that doesn't acknowledge her effort. Like if she tells you her name starts with H and you just say, oh, cool, mine too, the source says that's a missed opportunity. You need to use the vacuum again there to get more before rewarding.
So knowing when to reward versus when to ask for more, that's the art.
That's what the guide says. It comes with experience. It's an art.
What if things go sideways? Like you feel you've accidentally created a disingenuous vibe? She thinks you're just using lines.
Ah, right. The guide's advice here is pretty counterintuitive. Don't fight her perception head on.
Don't fight it. Then what?
Go to where her focus already is her suspicion you're using a line and hijack it.
Hijack it how?
By basically confessing, but playfully.
If she's clearly thinking, this guy just hit on me with a line, you say something like, okay, you got me. That was just a line. Although I would actually really like to visit Nantucket sometime because it has a name, which is fun to say. You own it, then twist it. The source claims this paradoxically makes you seem more genuine. That's clever. Okay. The guide also talks about amplifying your expressions.
Yes. The idea here is that with strangers, people who don't know your baseline personality, subtle expressions get lost.
So you need to be bigger.
Kind of, yeah. More expressive than you might be normally. The guide compares it to actors in a TV drama. They have to exaggerate slightly for the camera.
Why?
Because the source claims, in these initial interactions, only exaggeration can create the illusion of normalcy.
Illusion of normalcy. Okay.
It helps her get involved, understand your reactions, and the guide adds, being expressive also shows you're comfortable, at ease around attractive women, which itself is seen as attractive.
So the PUA is kind of like an actor in this view.
Exactly. An actor trying to hook her into this interactive performance, this relationship.
And you need a range of expression, right? Not just one note.
Definitely. The guide specifically warns against only expressing one thing constantly, like trying to only look confident or always leaning back physically.
Why is that bad?
It limits your flexibility, limits your ability to seem genuine in different moments. The source has this great quote on it.
What's that?
Appearing confident is not about expressing confidence. It's about confidently expressing everything else.
That's a good one. Okay, let's move into the pursuit. The guide makes this really crucial distinction here.
Yes. Between genuine interest and desperate interest.
Explain that.
So, the source claims attractive women generally assume men are automatically, generically, desperately interested just because of their looks.
Okay.
They expect men to just kind of drool because they showed up.
Right. And a desirable man, according to this guide, is different how?
He's different. He's not attracted by just mere legs, lips, and butts, as the guide puts it.
Okay.
To really capture his interest, she has to show effort, reveal her uniqueness. The source argues attractive women often test men with this sort of habitual facade. Yeah, it's a surface-level presentation. To see if you'll just settle for the window dressing or if you'll demand more. See if you're looking for the real person.
And timing comes back here again in showing genuine interest.
Absolutely critical. According to the source, it uses that simple smiling example again.
Right, smiling before or after she gives her name.
Exactly. Smiling before she gives her name seems like generic, desperate interest. You'd smile at anyone attractive.
But smiling after.
Smiling after she makes the effort of giving her name. That rewards her specific action. It shows genuine interest in her, triggered by her contribution. The guide insists these small timing things add up hugely.
So rewarding a generic answer signals desperate interest. How should you handle generic answers differently then?
The source contrasts saying something bland like, shopping.
Yeah.
Cool. I like shopping too.
Yeah.
It says that just rewards genericness, shows desperate interest.
So what's the better way?
Use her generic answer as a launch pad, a prompt for something more unique.
Exactly.
If she says, I was just shopping, instead of, cool, You ask something playful and specific, like, oh yeah, ever push someone out of the way at a big sale?
Okay.
And then, if she gives a unique, funny response, maybe a story about using a chokehold in a sale riot,
Ah.
then you reward that uniqueness with genuine enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're a pit bull. I love you. That kind of thing. The source claims that shows genuine interest in her specific personality, not just her presence.
Got it. The guide also talks about making yourself seem genuine overall in conversation, because women might assume you're faking it.
Right, because the premise is they're used to men forcing conversation while clearly just distracted by looks. So you have to actively work to seem different.
And what are the tactics?
Use specifics in your stories. Don't just say my friend, say my German friend. Don't just say I work with computers. Say I was trying to make the internet work. Paint pictures. Act out parts of your stories physically. Make it vivid.
Okay. Another big concept, disqualify yourself. What's that about?
This is presented as a really core tactic. It's about avoiding seeming like you're sucking up or constantly seeking her approval.
Why avoid that?
Because the source flat out says seeking approval is not sexy. It signals desperate interest.
So how do you disqualify yourself? What does that look like?
It means not bragging. Don't mention your achievements, your new condo, fancy connections, gym records, even past success with women. Avoid all that.
Yeah. What else?
When women present what the guide calls ego traps, like demanding you tell a joke on the spot,
Yeah.
turn the tables. Ask her to tell one first. Or use simple self-deprecating humor. The guide mentions the author using his niece's really basic joke. Why did the monkey fall out of the tree? Because it was dead.
Okay.
Or maybe to get to the other slide one. The point is, don't try too hard to impress.
And being honest about flaws, too.
Yes, minor flaws anyway. Describe your boring computer job honestly. Admit you're part of the problem with gas consumption if it comes up.
Why do this?
It's about managing her expectations, preventing her from projecting this image of the perfect man onto you.
Because you can't live up to that projection.
Exactly. The source says enjoying her approval too much is dangerous because she's often approving of a fantasy, not the real you. Disqualifying yourself knocks that fantasy down
How?
by focusing on being real. Mentioning your thrift store jacket. Confessing you plan to eat whole pizza tomorrow. Admitting you're sometimes dull and introverted. It makes you seem more grounded, less try-hard. The guide specifically says moments when she asks about your job or skills are prime opportunities to disqualify.
Makes sense. And finally, under engagement, asking interesting questions.
Right. Move beyond boring small talk. Take conversational risks. Ask original, maybe slightly provocative questions, not necessarily deep, but tailored to the situation.
Why?
It helps her show her uniqueness, which then allows you to show that genuine interest we talked about, reacting to her specific answers. The guide uses the example of asking a woman with a naturally stern face if she used to be a second-grade teacher.
Gotcha. Okay, let's move towards the end game, according to the guide. Becoming sexual and building tension. That Beethoven and juggler dialogue tops up again.
It does, and the argument here is really strong, quite central to the guide's philosophy.
What's the argument?
You absolutely must create a fun sexual vibe first
Yeah.
before she'll genuinely care about your personality, your job, your hobbies, whatever.
Vibe first, substance later.
In a way, yes. It frames it not just as wanting sex,
Yeah.
but as embodying being a sexual person in your interactions from early on.
And this means the friend's first approach is bad.
According to this guide, yeah, pretty much a critical error. It argues trying to be friends first almost never works for romance.
Why not?
It cites something called platonic momentum.
Platonic momentum.
Yeah. Uses this dramatic analogy. It's like a snowball rolling down a mountain. If you don't stop it or redirect it towards romance early, it becomes this fast-moving giant ball of death for any sexual possibility later.
Wow, snowball of death, intense.
The guide's phrasing, yeah. It also advises strongly against traditional, expensive, or what it calls murky dates.
Murky dates.
Yeah, especially with people you meet in situations where intentions are unclear, like school, work, the gym, obligation-based settings.
Why are those bad?
The guide argues the intentions are muddy, it feels like a weak move, it's unsexy, and it puts the burden on her to figure out if it's a date or to make a move.
Which leads to?
Often leads to flaking, ghosting, or the inevitable rejection after you've already invested significant time, money, and hope.
And the guide claims attractive women aren't likely to initiate things themselves.
That's a core claim. It says they secretly long for a man who can lead her into a sexual relationship.
Lead her.
Yeah. Talks about a window of potential opening up in an interaction. If you, the man, let that window close without making things sexual,
Then what?
she'll assume you're either not interested in her that way or maybe you're just afraid, and the window closes.
Okay, so how do you make it sexual then, according to this source? Is it about cheesy lines, trying to get physical fast?
No, actually, the guide argues against that explicitly. It's not about being sleazy or just rushing things physically. It uses this Nana example.
Yana.
Yeah, where the author admits he didn't even know the woman's name when things became intimate, to show it's not about following conventional dating steps.
So what is it about then?
It's framed as showing desire for her unique self.
Your unique self.
Yeah, her specific thoughts, the way she dances, her freckles, her energy. It's about discovering and appreciating what is particularly sexy within her. Something maybe no other guy has noticed or pointed out.
Discovering her unique sexiness.
Exactly. The source claims experienced trainers can create this sexual vibe almost instantly by making a woman feel he's seen and appreciated something uniquely sexy about her.
That's a very specific take. What are some of the concrete tips the guide offers for actually making an interaction sexual?
Well, after building some rapport, it suggests you can explicitly tell her she's sexy. But crucially, pair it with something else. Like, you're really sexy and you're really fun to talk with. Acknowledge more than just looks.
Okay. Other tips?
Use suggestive but playful lines. The guy gives an example like preferring her cleaning your car over doing bidding for sex. It's absurd, suggestive, but not directly hitting on her.
Right.
Also, importantly, don't giggle nervously about sex. It implies discomfort.
Yeah.
And don't bite on sexual tests or bait from strangers early on. Save that for when you know her better.
What else contributes to this sexual persona?
Cultivating an aura of having options.
Yeah.
Appreciating other people generally, not just fawning over attractive women. And again, making her put effort into showing her uniqueness before you give that specific sexual appreciation.
Okay. This leads right into the concept of sexual tension. How does the guide say that's created?
This is key. It's created by being sexual, expressing desire, while simultaneously acknowledging barriers to acting on that desire immediately.
Acknowledging barriers. Why?
The source argues these barriers are essential. They're like her safety valves. They actually allow her to flirt and explore the sexual possibility without feeling pressured or immediately committed. The barriers make it safe for her to play along.
So you use the barriers, you don't try to knock them down.
Exactly. You use them. The source gives examples.
Like what?
You might say, wow, I think you are completely sexy. That's the desire. But of course, I just met you, so I can't really tell you that. That's acknowledging the barrier you just met.
Okay, I see. Desire plus barrier. Any others?
Using environmental barriers. I'd love to show you my awesome fish tank, but my parents are visiting, so it might only be the fish that gets wet tonight.
Okay.
Or using personal barriers. You're incredibly sexy, but it would never work out between a beautiful blonde like you and a guy who wears turtlenecks. Playful incompatibility.
And the really crucial part is how you react to her obstacles or resistance.
Yes. This is maybe the most counterintuitive bit. The source says you absolutely must support her resistance. Don't argue with it. Don't try to destroy her barrier.
Support it? How?
If she says something like, whoa, slow down, I can't get with you, I don't even know you well enough, you agree first. You're absolutely right.
Okay, agree. Then what?
Then you layer your desire onto her accepted barrier. The example given is, you're right. I would really like to kiss you slowly all over your body, but I actually really want to get to know you as a person first.
So you agree with the getting to know your part, but frame it sexually.
Precisely. The guide claims this specific approach. Agree with the barrier. Then layer desire onto it is what builds massive sexual tension and, in its words, gets her very hot.
Fascinating stuff. The guide also includes full example interactions, right? To show all this in action.
It does, yeah. There are detailed walkthroughs set in different places, a bookstore, a house party, a nightclub.
And what's the point of those?
They're meant to illustrate how you'd apply all these techniques. The approach, the vibe, the vacuum, the disqualifiers, building tension in different real-world environments. Show how it all fits together.
Got it. Now, despite laying out all these very specific rules, techniques, steps, the source keeps coming back to this idea, doesn't it?
It does. It insists that ultimately, picking up women will remain in good part an art that cannot be quantified.
So the rules are just training wheels.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Just a starting point. It argues that people who stick too rigidly to rules become stiff and wooden. They can't be in the moment, can't adapt.
And art needs.
Art, the guide says, needs a dose of the inexact and lumpy. You can't achieve perfection entirely on purpose. You have to leave room for the imperfect and unexpected.
So the real mastery isn't just following the rules perfectly.
According to this guide, no. The true art lies in applying these principles flexibly, intuitively,
Yeah.
allowing for spontaneity, for your actual personality to come through within the framework.
Right. And it wraps up with some final mindset points, alpha suggestions.
Yeah, quick reminders, don't need her approval, laugh at yourself, take teasing well that's seen as relaxed and sexy, share your own mistakes or embarrassing moments sometimes shows the interaction isn't suffocatingly important to you.
Having fun seems to be a big theme there at the end.
It really is. Be present, be in the moment, have fun. The guide kind of concludes that, ultimately, women aren't looking for a guy to prove how smart or successful he is on paper.
What are they looking for, according to this text?
His ability to be social, connect with people easily, and crucially, his ability to make them feel sexual.
Okay. So wrapping this up, what does all this mean? We've really dug into this specific 2005 guide.
We have explored its a detailed set of techniques, its particular philosophy,
Yeah.
covered a lot from that initial vibe and handling anxiety.
Right, through creating two-way interactions, trying to show genuine interest, even using disqualification.
Yeah, and finally getting into its perspective on becoming sexual, building tension, using barriers, the whole system it lays out.
It's definitely a fascinating look. And yeah, sometimes pretty unconventional, seeing social dynamics through the lens of this specific text from that time.
And it leaves you with this interesting paradox, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, it gives you this highly structured approach. Rules, techniques, steps, sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Very methodical.
Uh,
Yet, it insists that the real mastery, the ultimate effectiveness, happens when it stops being rules and becomes this unpredictable art form.
which leaves you, the listener, with this final thought to chew on, maybe. Can something that's outlined so methodically, almost like a blueprint, can that truly become an art form in practice?
Or is the art just about getting so good at applying these very specific,
Yeah.
sometimes counterintuitive methods that it looks effortless and flexible?
Right. Is it true art or just mastery of the technique? Something to consider as you navigate your own social interactions.